structure in place. Let's do a quick recap. So we have our title, which is a H1 element, we have our image, and we have two subheadings, which are H2s. Now let's quickly remind ourselves where we need to get to. So the finished design has got a header, which is designed in orange, as are the subheadings, and our font is a different color and a different type. Let's put those changes in place now. And in order to do that, we will use Cascading Style Sheets, CSS. You can add your CSS styles directly to your HTML page. It's usually a better idea to add them to an external file. Why? Because it's easier to maintain the CSS afterwards, and you can also apply the same styles to multiple HTML pages. So we're using our index.css file that was included in our project, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to style the body. And the body is the outermost element that the user sees on the page. So we're going to set the font family to Arial, which is a sans serif type font. There you go. You can see it's changed from a form of Times New Roman, which is a serif font, to a sans serif font. So that's the first step. Now that's been applied to the entire content, because when you apply it to the body, you can see that the body contains the sections and the footers. It's the parent. So that style will target those child elements as well, which is why all elements on the page get targeted by that style. Also, in general, it's a very good idea to start with the outermost containers at the top of your CSS file and gradually include more detailed, specific styles as you move down through your style sheet. That's because of the cascade. We've also changed our color to slate gray, again, just to highlight that you can do this, and it softens the color as well. You can see now it's moving closer to where we need to go. Also notice that our headings are orange and they're also uppercase. So let's style that. Now, currently our title is a little bit small, how to make T. So let's make that a little bit bigger now by increasing the font size. And you can increase the font size using fixed values like pixels or percentages. And it's often a better idea to use percentages because it makes the elements responsive. They will respond accordingly on the device on which they're shown. You can see there that style has targeted the H1 and made it larger. It's a little bit thick, and we'll fix that in a few moments. The weighting of the font is a little bit heavy. So we only want our H1, the font size for our H1 to be 300%. But we want our H1 and our H2 heading types to have a color of orange. So you can reuse or retarget an element more than one time in a CSS file. So we're now saying that the color of H1 and H2 is orange. And there you have it. And the way to target multiple elements with the same style is to comma separate them. You can see H1, comma H2. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to transform the text. We're going to transform the text to uppercase. Again, Replit will give you autocomplete and code hints when you're typing out your CSS styles and your HTML content. There you go. It's getting closer and closer to the final result. Now I think the font weight is a little bit heavy, so let's make it lighter. So we set the font weight to 100. Notice there's no percentages or fixed pixels after that, it's just a numeric value. There you go. So it looks a lot lighter, it looks more appealing. And the last thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to style the image. We're going to set the size, the width of the image to be 100% so it responds nicely on the different devices. So with 100%, again, percentages are used in responsive design. Okay, let's resize it. Let's view it out in a full page, its own browser tab. And you can see that the image is now occupying 100% width of the screen. And when we reduce it, it maintains that aspect ratio. And it's consistent. Notice also that our title, How to Make Tea, doesn't fit on a single line when we reduce our browser screen size to mimic a mobile device. And we'll fix that soon enough. But for now, it's starting to come together. We have our font size, our font colors, and our percentages.